For the purposes of the blog and for today's live, creating your space is going to be the literal meaning of creating your space, which means the space around you. Now, I'm trying to kind of hide some of my space around me because I'm cleaning out stuff. We're going to go over that in just a minute. Stuff's going to the donation pile. Bye. If you don't already do this a couple of times a year, I highly recommend it. But here's the reason that we're covering this today. Basically, it's to clear the energy around you. We all carry energy. Our homes have energy. Our things have energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And we need to get rid of, and we know when we feel like this that we're stressed or feeling disconnected for whatever reason. Sometimes we disconnect on purpose. Some of us, I'm a Cancer the crab. I have my shell time. But if you are in a cluttery space physically, it will lend itself to a cluttery space mentally. And don't believe anybody that says it's an organized mess and I know where everything is, because I've worked for people like that, and that's a big fat lie. They don't know where anything is. So the clutteriness can cause what I like to think of as fuzzy energy. It's like in the old days when you tuned in a radio station and all you got was so that's what that is. So the good energy, the energy the universe is trying to send you, or your higher power, I'm a Christian, but whatever, however you do it, I talk to the universe and I talk to God. And then the good energy, the things that the universe wants to send you, can't get in because you don't have room. I've heard this described so many ways. My favorite one is trying to put a car in a garage that already has a car in it. It's not the same principle as, no, we can fit one more thing in the fridge, because when you have company over and it's a family gathering, you can always fit one more thing in the fridge. It's a holy mess and you don't know where anything is, but you can always, not the same principle. So we want to create our space for a positive energy, and I'm not going to go into Feng Shui. You can look that up. I'm a firm believer in Feng Shui. The energy around you, whether it's in your public rooms, like I'm in the great room here, or in your office, anywhere that you spend any amount of time, certainly at your office, at work if you go out to work. And the most sacred place of all is the bedroom. And, for obvious reasons. The bedroom is the last place that you go in the day. It's also the first place you wake up in the day. So shouldn't it be the place of the most calm and peace? Shouldn't it be the place that just looking at it makes you go, okay, this is my place. And so creating a space for some of us can be a little more taxing than others. It's not just that we need to create it, we need to maintain it. And these are, again, we're going to talk about habits, because it's all about our habits. It's all about what we do every day. So whether we work from home, which has its own set of challenges, or you're away from home most of the day and you are just managing your home time, most of us would agree that we operate better and feel better and think better and have more clarity in a clean, organized space. So the feeling I get at the end of the night when the dishes are all done and everything's been wiped down, the kitchen looks like, yeah. So, but Marie, clutter's going to happen. We get mail, we get packages, we have stuff. I mean, clutter's going to happen. We keep receipts, or we jot down notes on anything that we can find, because we, don't have our phone on us or what have you. Something that you set down, and I'll put that up in just a minute when I'm done with this, but then you forget about it and it sits there for days. Or my personal bad deed, I guess we can call it a thing. I keep shoes next to the door because I don't like shoes in the house. And every once in a while, the shoes next to the door are not so organized. And I'll look at them, and I'm bad about this, and I'll say, I'll grab those in just a minute. Whereas if I had taken the 3 to 4 to 5 seconds to go ahead and organize the shoes, then I'm done with it, and I don't have to worry about seeing it again next time. So everybody has their thing. Some people are clutter bugs. Some people are a little bit OCD, but even OCD people have things. Like, I'm pretty OCD about, like, throw rugs. But I'm also the napkin queen. I will have a folded up paper towel or a napkin with me if I just have a drink in the den while we're doing stuff, or watching TV or whatever. I gotta have that napkin. Now, generally, at night you're going to bed, you take your glass or whatever to the kitchen, you do the things. I will forget the napkin. And it even gets on my own nerves that I forgot the napkin. So how bad is that? So nobody's perfect here. We're creating our space. And so whatever room it is, especially the room that you work in, and if you work in an office, your area, your specific area, needs to feel like you and look like you and heck, even smell like you. Making your space what makes you happy. Now, if you're a guy, you might want deer heads on the wall, or pictures of your NASCAR fans or your champions or whatever it is that makes you happy. I mean, we're not talking everybody has to have a one of those Better Homes and Gardens houses. I mean, I always wondered, where do those people put their... It's always something. And I'm always wondering, when you go into these houses, what do they do with their stuff? Well, you know what they did? They cleaned up like a banshee before you showed up. That's what they did. Because everybody lives in their space, and so we're coming to that now. I have kids, Marie. What am I supposed to do? Clean all the time? No. I raised 2 kids. It's important that your kids and your hubs get to live in their space. Now, at my house, growing up, we were allowed to make a mess. We were just taught to clean it up. I taught my kids the same thing. Yeah, live in the house. Let's rainy days like today, we'd build forts or have a big, blanket pile in the floor and might do movies or pizza or something. That you have to live in your space. But the thing is, and this is where I'm going with it, if you don't keep it up, if you don't take the moment or two to finish cleaning everything up or to put everything away, then when you see it again, it's a little thing. It's a stress and it's a stress and it's a stress. I used to have only Saturdays to clean house. I worked, I was gone 5 days a week, 13 hours a day, and I would be worn out when I got home and yada yada. But I would resent having to spend the first part of my Saturday cleaning because everybody else is, going to apple festivals and hitting the parks and doing all these things. And, at lunchtime I get on Facebook and I'm like, I've missed half the day. Everybody's doing something fun, and I was cleaning toilets and vacuuming and everything else because I didn't. You start to resent having to give up what little time off you had to spend around your house. So here's how I fixed that. Schedule. Yeah, if you didn't read the blog post, there's that word again. Schedule. It sounds boring, but it really is going to free up your life. Because if you would take 2 nights a week, pick them, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever nights a week, and do a couple of chores. Maybe you and your spouse or however you work it out. Do a couple of chores. I'm finding that out. Since I'm now working from home, you get the chores done, and then come Saturday morning, it's like, I don't have 10,000 things to do before I can leave the house and go have fun. How awesome is that? Come in and see a mess. Anytime you come in and see chaos, it's going to add to any kind of stress you brought with you into the house. Now, the energy of the house, once it's set to where you want it to be, the energy is good. The energy of the house itself can relieve the stress of your day. It can decompress you. It can facilitate your meditation or your downtime or what have you. Even dinner conversation, kids, spouses, whatever. Just the energy in the house being good. And if you work outside the home or do whatever you do for a living, everybody deserves that when they come home. Everybody deserves to walk into a place that makes them feel like, and not walk into a place and you go, oh God, I don't want to look at that because I didn't take care of that earlier, and on and on and on. So basically, here's my thinking on this, and I was raised on it, but I'm pretty sure, I know Susan will agree with me. I hope anyone watching on replay will agree with me. Please put #replay. I was taught that if you take care of and respect your things, then your things will take care of you. Now, I'm not a person that can, and I don't recommend, I'm not saying people should back a moving truck up to their house and throw a bunch of crap out and then go buy a bunch of new stuff. That's not what I'm saying. So you can create your space without spending a whole lot of money. And I'm not spending a whole lot of money on creating my space or my office. People used to tell me, oh, I love this or I love that. Where'd you get it? I paid 50 cents for that somewhere. Somebody gave it to me for Christmas. I don't spend a lot of money on bling bling for around, but if I find something really cool that looking at it makes me happy, fun. Daily deliberate action, just like we said with the self-talk and the meditation and the affirmations and all of the things we've been going over as far as creating this is our headspace that we're also creating here. The thing around you, the environment around you has everything to do with your headspace. So it makes sense that you would have a space like I prefer, like if it was me, I prefer to meditate outside, but I can't do that today because it's raining, so you just find a nice quiet place. I don't recommend meditating in your office. In fact, if you work from home and have a home office, I don't recommend doing anything but work in the office. So make sure that if you're doing certain things, that you have certain places that you do them in, and it just makes things a whole lot easier. And that's just a suggestion. It's in no way like I'm super powerful with all this advice. It's just little things that most of us don't do because we're busy, or our head space is. All of these things I'm talking about today are very basic, very simple. And the good thing about them is they compound. They not only compound in value just from doing them, they compound because then you end up like with a brand new habit that compounds, and you want to do, you'll look around and say, oh, I could get that, and I could do this, and then before you know it, you've got this little schedule going on. You're not so tired and stressed out that you can't stand yourself, and you're not fussing at other people in the household. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just nice. I like stuff that blends but doesn't necessarily match, but that's me. Because that's my personality. I can blend, I just don't necessarily match any group of people. Maybe that's something. All we're really doing at this point is trying to make and establish habits that we know are good, that we know present value to us, not only as we go through our daily task, but in our mind and our mindset, because that's the biggest benefit. If you ask me, there is no bigger benefit than a better mindset, and how you start your day, how you end your day, has everything to do with how you take on task, how you handle the curveballs that life can throw, how you look at situations, and how you look at finding solutions because you're not in a bad headspace. And that's it for me today. I love you. Peace out.